Bftb, best fight the best. So, us as boxing fans, we suffer. We have this suffer. Where some of us actually see this. They see this disease. Others embrace it. You know what I'm saying? The ones that see the disease, we can point it out. You know, we can point it out. We can say, hey, why are you guys making us pay for fights that we don't want to see? You know, why are you making us pay? And the crazy thing is, that statement in itself is like odd. Because nobody's making us pay for nothing. They're giving us a shit product and they're saying, well, watch it or don't watch it. And then we're acting as if we have to buy it. You know, we're justifying buying it because we are boxing fans. So we're justifying buying it. It's gotten so bad. These justifications have gotten so bad that there's people that actually defend it. They defend the promoters and the fighters giving us stuff that we don't want to see. They defend it. You know, they're like, oh well, you know, you guys gotta let the fights build. You gotta let them marinate. You know, if the fight happens now, who is that fighter gonna fight later on in the future? You don't know boxing. Be realistic. You know, those are all the kind of things that the LTNK and these people that are suffering from this disease, this is the type of stuff they say. So I was sitting back, you know, just chilling in the crib, and I was like, man, there is a name for this disease. There is a name for this. So I just had to do my research, and the disease is called Stockholm Syndrome. That's what it's called, Stockholm Syndrome, where you actually like fall in love, protect and defend your abuser. Now, I get it. At this point in boxing, I mean, at this point, many of you guys who have Stockholm Syndrome symptoms, many of you you're so caught up, you're so infested with the disease that me saying this is going to be like, oh, you're going overboard. You don't know what you're talking about. You're this and that. You don't know shit about boxing. You're dumb. But let's just break it down, right? Let's just break it down. You have someone like Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn. You know, you got these promoters that know good and damn well what the fights are. Al Heyman, all the guys. None of them get no pass. None of them. They have the pulse of the people. They know exactly what fights to give the fans. They know exactly what to do because they know exactly what fights we want. They know exactly what fights we want. Exactly. They just choose to not give it to us. And in them choosing to not give it to us, you have the boxing fans with the Stockholm Syndrome that will defend the promoter's right to not give us and them what it is that they want. They will defend, support, and love these guys. Listen, you need to either be suffering from the disease minorly or not at all. Because if you have the disease, it's kind of hard to recognize that you have it when everybody else around you has it as well. Stockholm Syndrome, where you actually love, support, and protect your abusers. We, as the boxing fan, are getting abused. We are getting abused. There's no way in hell that we shouldn't be getting Spence versus Crawford. I think the fighters will do it. Matter of fact, I know the fighters will do it. But if it ain't the fighters holding it up, who's holding it up? The people that are above them. That's who's holding it up. Regardless of what anybody says, I know the fighters will do it. The fighters will fight. Errol Spence will fight Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford will fight Errol Spence. They will fight each other today. But the issue is, who's pushing those fights? Listen, I don't think Canelo will not fight Charlo. I don't think that. I truly believe Canelo will fight Charlo. I do. I believe that. I may give him shit because he didn't, but I honestly believe he will fight Charlo. I don't think he's scared of Charlo at all. Now, him winning is a whole different story, but I think he'll fight him. But De La Hoya is in no rush. He's in no rush for Canelo to fight Charlo. None. Bernard Hopkins is in no rush for Canelo to fight Charlo. Telling a fighter, oh, well, you don't deserve. Who the fuck are you to tell a mandatory, to tell a top-ranked fighter he don't deserve to fight another fighter? Who are you? That is protecting. And you got the people, the Canelo fans, that will protect and support Bernard Hopkins, Fable Sanchez talking about Charlo don't deserve to fight Golovkin. They will protect and support these guys. Yeah, that's right. Abel Sanchez is right. Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya, they're right. Yeah, look at Charlo's resume. He hasn't even done anything. Look at his resume. Listen, this is the resume excuse is one of the things that the LTNK and these Stockholm Syndrome fans, these Stockholm Syndrome infested fans, it's one of the excuses that they use. This is one of the excuses that they use. Someone's resume. Listen, understand something. Your resume does not protect you from fighting someone else. It never did. It never did. And I'm going to do a more in-depth video about boxing resume. But a boxing resume does not protect you from fighting someone else. Now, a boxing resume... Listen, alright, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to do it now. Because y'all got boxing resume fucked up. Listen, the point of any boxer, is to be known as the baddest man on the planet. The pound for pound #1. The best at something. That's the point of the boxer. That is the point. Your resume is what gets you those accolades. That's all it gets you. That's it. Your resume gets you the baddest man on the planet. Your resume gets you the #1 pound for pound. Your resume gets you the best fighter in your division. That's what your resume gets you. Nothing more. Your resume does not stop. Just because you fought this person does not mean now you don't need to fight that person. That has nothing to do with your resume. But that's what you Stockholm Syndrome LTNK fan bitches, that's what y'all use in order to avoid another fight. No, your resume only matters. It only matters when you retire. Because that means you are no longer building your resume. So now all we have to judge you on is what you've already done since you are no longer fighting. That's what your resume means. It does not mean just because Canelo fought Laura that he doesn't have to fight Charlo. Just because Canelo fight Floyd, he doesn't have to fight Charlo. Just because Canelo, fought Cotto, he doesn't have to fight Andrade. No, it doesn't mean that. That's what you Stockholm Syndrome fan bitches will use to protect somebody. Just because Anthony Joshua fought an old-ass Vladimir Klitschko does not mean he don't have to fight Deontay Wilder. It does not mean that. But that's what you Stockholm Syndrome idiots will use. You guys are defending and protecting your abuser. You're boxing, the guy that is hindering, the guy that's in the way of what you want. Well, for Anthony Joshua, it's Anthony Joshua, because I honestly believe Eddie Hearn wants that fight. I truly believe it. I no longer believe that Eddie Hearn does not want Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. No longer. After doing as in-depth research as I've done, there's no way Eddie Hearn does not want that fight. Anthony Joshua does not want that fight. I don't care about what people are saying, trying to use the Stockholm Syndrome and protect Anthony Joshua and say, oh no, I don't think it's Anthony Joshua. I think it's his coaches. Nope. Nah, not in this situation. This is not a Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence situation. No, Anthony Joshua does not want no work with Deontay Wilder. Period. He does not want that man at all. Flat out, point blank, period. Listen, but the Stockholm Syndrome is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's real. It's real. When all you can do is protect and defend your abuser. Protect and defend your abuser. Your abuser in the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence situation is between Al Heyman and freaking Top Rank Bob Arum. One of those two are your abusers. One of those two or both. One of those two. And that's who we are defending. We are defending Al Heyman. We are defending Bob Arum. We are defending these guys. I'm not defending anybody that's going to hinder me getting what I want. I'm not doing it. What kind of shit? That doesn't even make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I'm going to defend my abuser. Now I understand the signs and symptoms of it because I did my research on what the Stockholm Syndrome was. And people are going to say, oh no, BFTB, that's just for domestic violence. That's just for stuff like that. Well, that's what you guys are getting right now. You're getting domestic violence. You are getting abused. Not only are you defending and protecting your abuser, you are paying for the shit that they're abusing you with. You are paying for it. You are coming out of your pocket to actually give money to the person who is abusing you. You are taking your hard-earned dollar and you are giving it to the people that are hurting you, the people that are taking, and if you are a boxing lover, then the fights that you want are Charlo, Canelo, Andrade, Canelo, Jacobs, Charlo Jacobs, Spence Crawford, Spence Thurman, Spence Porter, Crawford Thurman, Crawford Porter, Tank Loma, Wilder Joshua. This is not, listen, Hurd, Charlo. These are not fights that are impossible to make. These fighters are in their prime right now. Right now. Dillian Whyte, Ortiz. These are all good fights. Jarrell Miller, Dillian Whyte, Miller, Ortiz. These are all fights that we can literally look ourselves in the mirror and get excited about. Like the dude that Jarrell Miller's about to fight right now, I swear that dude made me a pizza last week. Man, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, that dude works at Papa John's, man. And he's about to fight Jarrell Miller. I'm like, what? Jarrell Miller made a living. He made his career, literally made his career off of Deontay Wilder's back. But here you go, here you are at the UK just because you guys support Eddie Hearn. You love Eddie Hearn and everything Eddie Hearn does. And you have this nationalism when it comes to Eddie Hearn. That you support this. He is abusing you. He is abusing you. Eddie Hearn is abusing you when it comes to Jarrell Miller and it comes to Dillian Whyte. He is abusing you. Both of those guys are in his stable. Both of them. Even when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he's abusing you. Listen, I don't think Anthony Joshua is a shit fighter. I think Anthony Joshua is talented as fuck. He just don't want Deontay Wilder. That's all I'm saying. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, he has no nuts. That's all I'm saying. But you guys, nope, y'all can't see that. You must find another excuse. Stockholm Syndrome at its finest. You must find another reason on why Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. It can't be Joshua's fault. It has to be Wilder's fault. It has to be. It has to be. Deontay Wilder offered this man $50 million. Not just any $50 million, but $50 million that he asked for. $50 million that Anthony Joshua asked for. And you guys are so infested. You're so diseased with the Stockholm Syndrome that all you can do is find excuses on why the $50 million wasn't real. Never in life, never in any other circumstance would you guys, you yourselves personally, turn down $50 million for anything. You don't care where it came from. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. It's the person who's giving it to you. It's their problem where it came from. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. But because of the Stockholm Syndrome, because of your protecting your abuser, because you must protect your abuser, you come up with excuses on why the $50 million wasn't real. Jarrell Miller could have been fought Dillian Whyte. Jarrell Miller could have been fought Pulev. He could have been did it. I don't see you guys out here shitting on Eddie Hearn for not making those fights. You are protecting this guy. Dillian Whyte could have been had a title shot. You guys are like, oh, Dillian Whyte deserves his title shot. He deserves a title shot. Listen, Dillian Whyte is highly ranked in all 4 sanctioning bodies. All 4. Why are you trying to force and press him to fight Deontay Wilder without doing what the rules say? If that's the case, Eddie Hearn could have made Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua at any time he wanted to. They're both in his stable. They're both in his stable. They're like, oh, Eddie Hearn's like, oh, you know, we're gonna, Dillian Whyte is, you know, he's top of the list to get a title, to get that shot with Anthony Joshua. If other people, what do you mean if other people? Dillian Whyte could have had this title shot last year with Anthony Joshua. Last year. This fight could be known already, but he used it as an excuse. He used it as an avoidance tactic. This is an avoidance tactic. He put Dillian Whyte in the cut, you know what I'm saying, and just kept him there. Kept him on, and Dillian Whyte was too stupid to say something. He just put him there and kept him there. Strategically had this dude fighting all these bums or nobodies. Either bums, nobodies, or Wilder's leftovers. And just had him in the cut. Waiting for when the pressure got too much on Anthony Joshua to then slide Dillian Whyte into the picture so that Dillian Whyte could fight Anthony Joshua. They could have fought last year. They could have been did a rematch. Jarrell Miller could have fought Anthony Joshua last year. Jarrell Miller could have fought Dillian Whyte last year. Jarrell Miller could fight Luis Ortiz right now. Dillian Whyte could fight Luis Ortiz right now. All these fights could have been happened. Dillian Whyte could have fought Deontay Wilder. All you had to do is get a man $7 million. But because of your Stockholm syndrome, you're like, oh no, he's never made that much money in his life. This is what the Stockholm syndrome fans do. Oh, Deontay Wilder's never made $7 million. He's priced himself out. He's scared of Dillian Whyte. Well, time out. Time out. Charles Martin's never made $1 million ever in his life. Never. The highest he's made was $250,000. And he made that to win the IBF title. You gave him 8.5 to fight Anthony Joshua. But yet given a champion, the champion, 7, giving the champion less, the longest reigning champion, giving him less than what Charles Martin did, $1.5 million less to give your guy a title shot. Is the champion pricing himself out? Come on. Come on. If you guys don't see this, you don't want to see it. You guys suffer badly from Stockholm syndrome. Badly. Bftb, and I'm out.